Somewhere right now, a voice actor is staring at a spec sheet that says warm, friendly, upbeat, professional. And somewhere else, a producer is on their fifth take, wondering why it still doesn't sound right. Those two problems, same problem. And the fix is simpler than you think. I'm Cecil Archbold, voice actor on Camera Talent, and today I'm handing you a wish list. The things that actually help a voice actor perform, not just read, so your sessions run tighter and your revision cycles get shorter. All right, let's get into it. Here's something worth knowing. If you're on the production or agency side, most of the time, I'm not seeing your specs for the first time when I've been booked. I'm seeing them at the audition. Most voiceover work goes through an audition process. Talent submits reads, you pick the voice you want, then you book. Which means your specs aren't just session direction, they're audition direction. Every performance that lands in your inbox, before you've even made a single casting decision, was shaped by what you wrote. If your specs are vague, you get a wide spread of interpretations. Now, some might actually accidentally be right, but most are basically shots in the dark. If your specs are focused, though, you get auditions that you can actually compare. Real range within a defined lane, rather than 20 different guesses about what lane you're even in. Good specs don't narrow your options, they focus them like a laser. There's a difference. And a voice actor worth hiring isn't waiting to be told exactly what to do. We're using your direction as a foundation to build a real performance on top of. The better the foundation, the better the performance you're inviting. Let's talk about adjectives, because this is where most specs kind of go in the wrong direction. Warm, friendly, conversational, professional, these words show up in a lot of voiceover specs. And here's the awkward truth. They mean something slightly different to every talent who reads them. To one voice actor, warm means soft and intimate. To another, it means genuine and grounded. To a third, it literally means smiling throughout the entire read. And none of them are wrong, but that's exactly the problem. Adjectives become direction when they're attached to something concrete. Warm, like a trusted friend explaining something complicated. That's direction. Just warm? That's a vibe, and vibes are a little tougher to perform to. And when specs are too vague, the cost doesn't just disappear. It just gets paid later in revision rounds, extra session time, the creative director getting looped in at 4 p.m. on a Friday to explain what they meant by friendly but not too casual. Specificity isn't micromanaging, it's just the fastest path to get you to where you actually want to go. Okay, here's the list. Quick note before I get into it. This isn't what a voice actor needs to do their job. Good talent makes choices with whatever they're given. This is what helps us make better choices, just faster. Kind of like a creative handshake, not a requirements list. 1. The one-sentence brand feel. Not the mission statement, the vibe. Like a regional credit union that feels like your neighbor, not a bank. One sentence like that gives me a world to perform inside of. And it's worth more than a paragraph of adjectives. 2. Something about the listener. Who is actually receiving these words? You can give me their age, context, their mindset. 52-year-old fleet manager is going to be a different performance than a 28-year-old watching a LinkedIn ad on their lunch break. The more real that person feels to me, the more real the performance becomes. 3. A reference. This right here is the single most useful thing you can put in a spec. Could be another spot from this brand, a competitor's ad, a celebrity voice, or a TV character. Anything at all that points in the direction. And you don't have to be precise. Somewhere between these two is still a compass, and A compass beats a blank page anytime. 4. What this is not. Guardrails are underrated. Not too salesy. Don't punch the copy like a 90s radio DJ. These negatives they're often more useful than the positives because they show you what you're trying to avoid. And that context is gold. 5. The emotional intention. What do you want the listener to feel when it's over? One word: confidence, reassured, motivated. That single word changes how the script gets performed. And it gives me an intention to play toward, which is more useful than a list of stylistic descriptors. The full list, including pacing notes, pronunciation, guidance, and the template you can actually steal, is in the blog post. Link is in the description. But these 5 are the ones that most move the needle. Let me paint you a picture of what happens when all of this comes together. A producer sends over a half-page spec sheet, brand feel in one sentence, a reference spot linked right in the email, a note about what the brand emphatically is not, and one line about the emotional intention. I read through it, make some choices, decide on an intention, a relationship, and a reason to say these words. I record. By take 3, everyone knows we have it. That's not magic. That's alignment. The specs set the stage. I brought the performance. Neither one of us did the other's job. We just did our own jobs better because the foundation was solid. That kind of session is available to anyone willing to invest 10 minutes before hitting send. Okay, one last thought. We're living in a time right now where AI-generated voice is everywhere. It's fast, it's cheap, and it's increasingly capable. And yet, intentional human performance, guided by clear human direction, still produces something that synthetic audio can't replicate. You can hear it. Your clients can hear it. The listener can feel it, even if they can't name what they're responding to. The specs are where that intention begins, on both sides of the glass. That's still worth something, and it's still worth getting right. If this was useful to you, subscribe, drop a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Ready to work together? Links are in the description.